All right, back again at Average at Best Cornhole. Today we're going to be talking about Logic. We got two different sets here. We have the Prisms and the Zinc.
Right, these are two of the popular bags from Logic Cornhole. We picked up a set, tried them out. We wanted to see what all the hype was about. The Zincs are just not for me. I don't think I'm qualified enough to throw those bags. So we're going to try to explain why, but I mean, this is just some really, really heavy roll fill in that bag. And it's active, and you can see it bouncing on the boards. And I imagine people can do things with those bags that they can't do with others. And we even have a local pro that plays in our area. He always throws those. So, I mean, it's a popular bag. We just could not throw them.
Yeah. I struggled quite a bit.
And then you got the Prism, which everybody's always asking for Viper clones and, what's different about them and a smaller template. And so I found out that they are a Viper R clone with a smaller template, but it's floppy as heck, right? This might be the floppiest, smaller template Viper R I've ever came across. Because we've thrown a bunch of them. The Underworld clones,
Power Dragons,
Chaos, the Power Dragons, and these ones are way more floppier. So if you're looking for a smaller template but still have the floppiness, these Prisms are going to be for you. So some interesting tidbits on Logic Cornhole. They are stamped. They're newly stamped for 2024. We actually got these bags right before they started putting the stamp on them. So we got a huge discount on them, which is nice because I've never played an event that I need a stamp, so it doesn't bother me. And then, as I'm doing research for these bags, I find on Amazon, they're selling them on Amazon. The Amazon machine has everything. They had one series that actually had the L, R, and H variations of the bags. So I reached out to Logic and asked them about it. And sure enough, they're starting to release those bags now. So if you're looking for, a Prism L would be even super floppy.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat.
We're going to have to get one of those, check it out. But I can imagine it's beyond the flop that I like to play with. Outside of that, we'll go ahead and get into our scoring on the designs here. Little Panda Dude's pretty sweet. I like that one a lot, and the Skyline's actually pretty cool too. Still pretty basic, with just having the company logo, and the name right across, but a little bit unique with the background there. So I know you were looking on their website, and they've really kind of upped their game on their options.
They have all kinds of crazy designs, cool designs too.
Yeah, so I didn't say the number. We're going with a 3 with them. A lot to do with these as well as what they are now offering and have available.
So the availability, these bags are available. You're not going to have any problem getting them. Even like I said, they're on the Amazon machine. So if you want to get on there and purchase them right off of Amazon, I know for a fact the Prism and Zincs are listed on Amazon.
Cost with scoring, not bad. We're on $100, so a 2.5 from us, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I think
$84.99.
So $85 retail, and that's before any coupon codes or anything you find. So we're always going to give them a decent score when they're under $100. So
shipping's under $10, so it doesn't tack on. And there's ways to save 10% too. We'll give you some codes later. So a little bit more about Logic. They got to be a smaller company. Like I said, they just got their stamp now, and I signed up for Tex, so I actually got some updates and stuff from Tex, and I went bored one day, so I responded back to the text. It was actually a real person. They answered me, so they were able to answer a couple questions I had about the company, which is kind of neat. They do have a website. It's just logiccornhole.com. The website's not horrible, a little tricky to navigate, but they got the bags listed and speeds and stuff, so you'll be able to find what you're looking for. Of course, they got a Facebook page. It's just at Logic Cornhole. And then they do have a group, which is at Logic Cornhole fan page, but it's small and not a lot of discussion going on in there.
Maybe they're just building that fan group. So if you're a fan of these bags and you have some good feedback on them, maybe hop on there and
you can
start creating some discussion.
Start those discussions, really.
Break-in method with these, I know Craig broke them in, used toss sauce, and I think that was even part of the the instructional video that we got out of using the toss sauce.
It is, if you search our other videos, there's toss sauce there, and these 2 bags are the actual bags we used in that video.
Yeah, so check that out. It's exactly how we broke them out, and by the time I got my hands on them, they felt ready to go. So
we're going to jump right into the baggage and start with speeds. Logic actually has the Prisms listed at a 5.9. We're starting to see this material as, there's 3 main hybrid materials, I guess you could say.
Yep.
This seems like the fastest.
I agree.
So I'm kind of thinking it's more like a 5.5, 6 brand new.
Yeah.
And it's definitely faster than the other two. And then the Logic, the website actually had them listed at 4.5 on the slow side, which I was impressed because that's the first time I've ever seen anybody call a herringbone slower than a 5. And we've always been saying herringbone is slower than a 5.
Yeah. So I guess they were kind of on with that because I felt that those played pretty slow. The herringbone doesn't seem any different, or it's not unique compared to what we see on, pretty much, all these.
The typical herringbone that's on all these bags now. And then they have the same fast side, so it's a 4.5, 9 for the Zincs.
Template on these bags, they're medium. We touched earlier on the Prism. It's, that Viper variant, but it's in that medium template. And same with the Zincs, standard medium size.
They just feel a lot fuller.
The Zincs definitely feel fuller. It's probably one of the more full herringbone, bag that I've thrown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever that roll fill that they're using.
Yeah,
it really makes a packed bag.
It does. Which for me, I like the initial hand feel of that fullness. It just didn't translate to what I wanted to.
So to touch on the fill a little bit more, Logic actually calls the Prism fill their slide flat. Feeling it just feels like mostly flat discs. And then the Zinc, they call it a control fill. So that's their definition of it. I mean, they got to make this bag to do all kinds of rolls and flops and everything. That's what the bag's designed for. I didn't like it. Me personally, a beginner thrower or an average thrower, there's other herringbone options out there that are better, that are going to be more forgiving for you.
The bagmanship, the quality on these bags, they're good. I have no complaints, right? No loose. No loose threads, on the tie-off, anything like that. Seems to be holding up great. Really no complaints. I think the quality's pretty good.
Yeah, these smaller companies, we've been seeing that. They take a lot of pride in making a good bag.
Yeah. Let's get into the slide up and, how these bags performed for us. I'm going to start, and I'm going to talk about the Zincs. Logic, I'm sorry. I do not think this bag's forgiving. I was terrible with it. I could not duplicate throws. I couldn't get the bag to do what I wanted. I don't know if it's the combination of the herringbone, which I've been telling Craig, lately a lot, that I'm really starting to realize the herringbone's not for me. So, kind of like he said, I'm probably not the right person to be giving, feedback on it because I'm not good enough to control this bag with the control fill. It's just kind of all over the place for me. I struggled, with the speeds.
But the Prisms are.
Right, yeah.
The Prisms are great.
Right.
Even Danny, he was throwing the heck out of those bags when we was playing with it. We'll probably have video of that, but he was 4-bagger after 4-bagger.
Yeah. And, the Prisms, as much as I keep saying I don't like, the carpet variants, that's one that I can play. It is because it's the faster of those variants, which I'm learning more, each time we go out with these bags, that I like a slightly faster bag. So that's one that I can play. I found it forgiving. I wasn't getting, unruly kicks or anything like that. I was able to, even cut it a little bit when I wanted to. And, when I was on, I was, sliding it right where I wanted to every time. So way more forgiving on the Prism, than the Zinc.
So the whole bodiness, the Prisms, we're familiar with those fabrics. It's got some good whole bodiness, especially, the faster of that hybrid.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem putting those in the hole. The Zincs, like we said, we just couldn't. But this roll fill, there's something about those beads, though. They seem to, move a little bit more. So I guess if it is close, you have a better chance of it accidentally going in.
Yeah.
Because the beads are just going to roll over each other and keep on moving. It takes them longer to stop, I guess, essentially.
Yeah. What I noticed is I would get, them corner bounces. When I hit the board, you'd really see one of the corners kick up, and it would kind of deter it away from the hole. The fast side's, your typical fast side. If you're laying on the fast side, you're near the hole, it's a good chance it's going to slide in. But I think that goes with any bag. Kind of question that I have for you, Craig, since you've played a lot more with the Vipers than I have, where do you think the Prism stacks up as far as, whole bodiness compared to the Viper that it's trying to clone?
Oh, it's pretty darn close.
Even with that smaller template?
Well, yeah, if you control it, a smaller template, you're going to have to get a little bit closer to the hole, but not that much. But with how floppy it is compared to the Viper R, that's why it's as close to the Viper R as it could be.
Yeah, it's Slinky's right in there for sure.
Yeah. Collectability, as you can imagine, yes, the Prisms are collectible. Didn't have any issue with those. I could not collect with the Zincs.
No.
Just another thing I couldn't do with them. It was almost like if you got too close, they were so bouncy, they would bounce away from each other's bag or even bounce off of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried collecting those, and I mean, I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat with these bags. So I wasn't hitting collects, and like you said, if you were just slightly too deep, you were bouncing over the hole, bouncing, over, and instead of grabbing your bag, you were, sliding across the top of the bag you were trying to collect because that corner would kick up. So I really struggled with those. Mm-hmm. The prisms, just like a Viper, any other, variant of that bag, it's easily collectible.
Oh, yeah.
Get into the capable shots, I don't think we have to go too much into the prisms. We all know these variations, the clone of the Viper, and, if you're a good enough thrower, the bag can do whatever you want it to. Mm-hmm. You can cut, you can block, you can collect, pretty much everything. I can't roll bags, so I'm sure it's rollable. But
yeah, somebody. But I mean, an average thrower or whatever, you're going to run holes with this bag. And this bag
all day long. Yep,
for sure.
Yep. Yeah, the zinc.
It can do all the shots. Right?
It can.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, we can't do it.
Somebody can. A lot of people can, actually. And if you're one of those people, I'm telling you, by how much bounce this bag had when it hit the board, it's got to be a roll thrower's dream.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm just not an advanced enough player to play with this type of bag. The better players out there, they're going to like these a lot more. They're going to be able to do those shots. I will say I was able to put blocks up with it just because it was so slow. Mm-hmm. So if I hit my target, no problem stopping it before the hole when I wanted to. I tried throwing a few attempts at a roll bag, but I still don't know how to do that properly. So, but like Craig said,
we saw the bounce.
Yeah, we saw it. It's definitely, and I think that fill in there is designed for that. Yeah, so, if you know how to throw that roll bag, you'll probably have a lot of success with it.
So now we're going to do the scoring. The Prisms, I'm giving them a 3-bagger. It's a very good Viper R clone, really. I mean, it's a little bit smaller. It's floppy. I really like that bag. I enjoyed throwing it. I wouldn't have any problem throwing it again. The Zincs, I'm not going to score that bag. I don't feel like I can. I don't want to knock on the bag because I can see its potential. Yeah. It's just not a bag for me.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. The Prism, I actually like it a little bit more than, an actual Viper because of that smaller template. That feels better in my hand. Sometimes there's just too much. Even though these are very floppy bags, it just doesn't feel to hang over my fingers as much because it's the smaller template. So I'm good with a 3 on that one. And yeah, the Zincs, I mean, they're just so much different than the other herringbones. You see me talk about, I love the Wizard L's. Like, it's probably my favorite herringbone. The Fallen X's I, enjoyed. But with these, just, if I was at a Switch and somebody brought those out, I would ask them to play something different. So I'm not going to rate them either. And, again, that's just, where I'm at with, my cornhole throw. I'm not good enough to throw that type of bag. So it's not fair to knock it.
So will these bags make you better? Yeah, there we go again. I mean, the Prisms, I think, for sure, because it's a very forgiving bag. So it's going to be forgiving for you, and it's going to make you better. And then the Zincs, even though it didn't make us better, I could see a world where someone says, I'm going to roll a bag. I need to learn how to roll a bag, and all I'm going to do is practice trying to roll a bag. That's probably the bag to try that with.
Yeah, pretty much. Overall, the Zinc made me worse. So, but again, take that with a grain of salt that you're not going to get the same experience. If you are trying to roll it, give it a try. If you're just looking, to work on your game, to, be slide up into the hole every time, these aren't going to help you with that.
And are they worth the cost? I think so. I mean, they're pretty fairly priced.
Yeah. Anytime we get under that $100, mark, we're going to recommend that it's worth the cost to a degree. To you have to make your own personal decision at that point. But and you're going to get discounts and everything. So if you time the market right and stuff, you're going to get them for a cost that makes it worth them.
Yeah, and I can't believe the Prisms aren't more popular. You don't hear a lot about them because it is a really nice bag.
It is, yeah.
So as far as recommending these bags, I would recommend the Prism to anybody. The Zinc, like I said, I wouldn't recommend that to an average thrower.
No, I don't.
If you're a rollback player, though, I would recommend it because I know it can be done with that bag. So we'll just leave with everybody's average of something. If you're going to be average, you may as well be average at cornhole.